Yeah, it's crazy to think that it's been a year already. It felt like it was just the other day that we were having our first talks together. But yeah, no, it's an amazing thing.
Absolutely, yeah, it's pretty incredible. I just invited fearless leader and founder of Boring Protocol, Mr. FOMO Dick, up to the stage as well.
What's up?
What's up, Moby?
How are y'all today?
Yeah, we're doing good, man. Doing good.
That's what I like to hear. Well, happy birthday to Solape and its team and its community.
Yeah, likewise to you guys as well, man. It's I was just saying before, it's great to it's amazing how quickly that 1 year has come around, but it's great that, a few of us from those initial days are still building strong, and still have huge plans for this year and the future. So, yeah,
Absolutely,
really excited.
absolutely agree with that second part. The first part about it going quickly. I feel like it's been 10 years, man.
That's a good point, actually. Time does move faster in the crypto space, right?
Absolutely, I feel like I've aged 5 years, and the past 10 months, especially, just when it got crazy. When Solana Summer kicked off, it was just like accelerated age from then on.
That's true, but I guess can probably speak for all of us. Wouldn't have it any other way.
I was on
The opportunity to be in the space.
I was on Solape
Eh?
earlier today looking at some charts, man. That UI has come a long ways. It's like just so easy to use, and even thinking back to like the first decentralized exchange I used, which was either uh, it might have been Bancor, but I'm pretty sure it was Radar Relay. I don't know. It was back in like 2018, and it comes so far. It's just amazing. It's so much easier to use now.
Yeah, that's right, and appreciate the compliments, man. We've obviously that's sort of where we specialize. That's where we angle ourselves on the Dex front, is having that sort of superior front end UI for trading. And we've come a long way since our first sort of fork from the Serum Dex, and we've got a lot of big plans coming for this year as well. Not only for the Dex itself, but other things that we're sort of creating within our own little Solape ecosystem. But also, it's just great to see from you guys as well, just from the inception of the idea. I was able to watch a few of the early sort of like demo presentations of the front end in the early days. I think you had a couple guys do a presentation for like the Sino and a few other groups. It was a Solana based event, but I remember seeing you guys present there, and it was just awesome. And to see the motherboards actually come out into production, getting into people's hands, it's just it's crazy, man. It's been a big journey for you guys. I was wondering if maybe now that we're starting to get a few people in here, maybe you could, I don't know, maybe speak on that a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. Appreciate the introduction in that sense. Man, it's been a long, hard first year. We've had our share of adversity, but I'm a bit of an optimist, and I think we've really kind of I don't want to say over exceeded, because I don't think that's quite the case, but I want to say that our promises, for the most part, have been kept. We're a little bit, if time's a factor, we're a little bit behind where I think we'd like to be. But staying steadfast in the overall pursuit. We still got a long ways to go. Ship the V1s, still kind of catching stragglers issues, learning about the logistics end of shipping hardware. But we're pretty much wrapped up with shipping the V1s. We've got that V2 sale that we're offering now. We were able to go ahead and purchase the materials for that ahead of time, and the network itself is already operating within that closed beta for the VPN. So hoping to with this V2 kind of turn the tables and be able to deliver ahead of the promised timeline. So I think that's going to be good for us. We've got some big things coming out that are going to solve a lot of the issues, with the physical hardware in regards to supply chain issues. Not only allow us to grow faster in terms of network size and overall bandwidth, but it's going to make it more accessible to people, throughout the world. So that's pretty exciting. And then, we've also got some aces up our sleeves to implement into our ecosystem in the next, year. So it's all very exciting. And, we got some big things to be announcing here in the next couple months. Should those things pan out. So, I think it's good. We're definitely, diligent and working and building this out for our community and providing that privacy solution, not only to our community, but to the greater crypto community too. So it's all very positive, all very exciting. I know like I said, we got a long ways to go, a lot of work to do, but we're passionate about it, man. It's not really been work. It's all just been just this enjoyable learning experience and community experience with the people that have gotten involved. So.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It's amazing to see, and I think I can speak for a lot of people that I think were early adopters or interested in what you guys were creating, was seeing a crypto team that were building, something that's a physical product, right, and something that has, in many ways, mainstream appeal, and I think it speaks to a lot of people that are concerned with sort of internet privacy and. Yeah. Once again, it's just amazing to see how far you guys have come and being able to get those products shipped out. And obviously now we're looking at the V2s as well. But it's crazy to think that we're able to achieve, or you guys have been able to achieve all of this in the last 12 months. It's something special.
Absolutely appreciate that, man. Kind words, and same to you guys. You've come a long ways too. As a user of your product and a community member and a fan, it's been great to be a part of that. Sometimes things don't pan out for particular projects for whatever reason, and that's always pretty disheartening from the perspective of somebody that likes the product or even maybe speculates as to its growth, and it's really good. I've been on the flip side of that, where my involvement, my time investment, and my financial investment didn't pan out, and for whatever reason, but you guys have carried the torch, and it's a breath of fresh air. So. What
Really appreciate that, man.
I've got a question for you guys. What in the last, in the first year, what has been the biggest obstacle or a bit of adversity that you guys have overcome, do you think?
Boy, where do I start, man? I think one of the I guess the best and worst parts of this industry has just been that it's full of obstacles and it's full of challenges, and I think what we've seen, sort of at least within our team and the people working with us, is how quickly we're able to adapt and sort of adjust to the new obstacles and challenges that come with us, come in front of us. But I think something more general, in a sense, would be, I guess, trying to keep up with the state of innovation. This is more of like an overall sort of obstacle, and it's something that we look to in the future as well. But we're competing against a lot of big names with a lot of VC funding, and as a lot of people might know, we are a community bootstrap team. So just being able to keep up with the pace that the industry is moving and also innovate at the same time, that's a real challenge. But I think what we have, and I know it exists all within the ecosystem, but we have a super dedicated, talented bunch of apes that are helping carry the torch, as you said. So we're very optimistic about the future, but it is a challenge, and there's many different kinds. I'm not sure if there's anything, Justin, you want to add on to that, but that's something a bit more sort of general from my point.
Yeah, and sorry that I wasn't able to speak up until now. I'm trying to get something pinned to the top. I tagged you guys, the boring account, to the post that I just made with the highlight reel from Miami. If either of the co-hosts can, or any of the speakers can pin that, because it's not letting me. Yeah, me being one of the newer guys on the team of Solape, I think as far as like what I have noticed as one of the sort of like speed bumps or roadblocks over the last 6 months or so, is the way that this space moves is like nothing I've ever experienced before. I've been full-time NFTs and Web3 since about August, and I'm 33 years old, and I've experienced a lot. I got a ton of life experience. Nothing moves the way that this space moves. People's attention span is slim to none. Everyone's really quick to find anything they can that could maybe be indicators of FUD or a rug or someone that's doing something disingenuous, right? Which is fine. It kind of comes with the territory of being in a decentralized realm. Everyone has to look out for their best interest, because there's no safety net here, right? You type a wallet in one letter, one number wrong, and the funds are just gone into the abyss. So I think that that's something, like, for me personally, that I have experienced, like I said, of recent, that I wasn't really, not something that I was exposed to prior, not anything that is too hard to work with. Just something that I feel like, the community and consumers are, it's all, it's a lot of wants and not a whole lot of do for the most part. So it's been really nice, to be honest, though, being with Solape and having a lot of community members that are willing to do, that are willing to be there and be part of the journey and be part of the building. And that's what I have found, as from the bad side of all that I just said. The good side of it is just that we are at the forefront, and we have everything at our grasp right now, and being so relatively early to everything that's being developed, and especially on Solana herself. The juice is worth the squeeze, for sure. So if I had to pick out something, it would be that. But in all honesty, it's not even that big a deal. It's been a beautiful journey so far, and it's only just the start.
That's awesome. Yep. I really can level with a lot of what you just said. I know you guys have some OGs on your team, and they probably have shared experiences in that sense with you guys. But there's always going to be the naysayers and the doubters. But the good far outweighs the bad, and as long as you're doing the right thing and doing what it is that you're passionate about, you're going to be able to sleep well at night, despite maybe those negative energies that may or may not present themselves. So I've spent enough time in crypto to know that you can be giving the shirt off, giving the shirt off your back to others, and there's still going to be somebody that maybe doesn't, have the perspective that they know that those sorts of things are taking place, and that's just the way it is. But we can't all dedicate 100% of our time to being up to speed in regards to those sorts of things. So just focus on the mission, man. You guys got it, man. I know you do.
Absolutely, and a big piece of what we do and a top priority in the way that we move is making sure that we can network and connect with the other builders in the space, because with everything being relatively new, none of us are going to master anything. There's going to be a hiccup from time to time. It happens with the builders at the tippy top to the ones that are just coming in here. Mistakes are made, and it's about the way that you maneuver yourself when they come, and how you react to those. And I just think overall that we've had a really good experience with linking up with other platforms and other teams such as Boring and some of the other names that we've been able to list on our decks and work deeper with, because that's what we're more interested in. It's not just about listing the tokens and high and buy, right? We want to meet the teams. We want to get to know the back end, get on more of a personal level. I've had multiple hour-long conversations with team members at Boring, and that's sort of what we want out of all the projects and teams that we associate ourselves with. We understand that not everyone's ideologies are the same, so it doesn't happen all the time, but that's something that we're super interested in, especially, once again, being relatively early in this space, and definitely early on Solana. I think there's power in numbers, and I think the way that we do get to that promised land of success and getting that exposure and validity from people outside of our network is going to come from us banding together and working together and pushing forward as a one team, one dream approach. So it's been a beautiful thing for me. Like I said, one of the relatively newer guys on the Solape team, to be part of a team that has the platform to be able to make those connections from a genuine place. So I've had a great time. And once again, going back into the year thing, right? It's definitely, you look back and time flies in this space, right? The last 6 months for me, it's once again, it's just been a beautiful thing. And I'm blessed to be here. I'm blessed to be around builders such as yourselves, everyone here. Techy, you've had your hand up for a while, so I'm going to let you take the mic, but I love what we have here.
Hey guys, I don't come up often on spaces. I'm the guy that's doing the UX UI for Solape. So the front end is mostly, like, design wise, is mostly my doing. I remember Boring when you started, and honestly, I thought it was a meme. I thought nothing was gonna come of it. I was very, suspicious. But then seeing you guys build and like go through all the hurdles and really become something impressive to me has been a great journey to observe, and I'm really glad that there's this synergy or energy going on between Solape and Boring. A couple of other points. You asked what's really challenging, what's been hard. For me, it's been getting criticized by people who haven't built anything themselves. And it's really hard when a user comes and they only have a front-facing product and they rarely have deep insight into what's going on behind the scenes. And then you get compared, small nimble team like Solape that's basically only community funded and never had any VC backing, gets compared to some really big names that that have millions and millions in VC funding and support from all sides. And it's really hard to sometimes paint the picture to people that it's a different approach to product. And for me, it's always been Solape, at least, has always been about creating the perfect DEX trading experience. And people usually in crypto, people flock to places that bring the most money the easiest way, and that's farming and all of these higher risk things that all the platforms are offering. But for me, it's been developing that perfect trading, decentralized trading experience, and I think we've done a pretty decent job. We have a very long way to go, but it's really exciting to be, watching from the early days when there were no wallets, basically no dexes. I was there when, you had to load custom accounts into Solid wallet and try to try to fix something up, and seeing where it came after a year, it's pretty insane, and I'm just happy to be here with all of you guys.
Awesome, man. Yep. Yeah, I remember. A little less than a year ago, our first conversation. I believe it was me and you, Kismet, and maybe one other, in the middle of the night for me. Talking and working out. Some strategic partnership at that point, and it was a very valued early relationship. We put a lot of value into that. So, and no hard feelings for you tech feeling like we're a meme. We kind of are a meme, just maybe a more serious one. We try to harness that mimetic power. That's kind of the fun spirit of not only crypto Twitter but crypto as a whole, right? So, definitely can understand where those vibes were coming from, and glad that you guys, at least gave us a chance to prove our worth. So it's been great. I think you guys were the first exchange to list BOP as a default pair, and it's been really great. I was looking the other day. Despite our humble beginnings, we've done pretty well in that market that you guys put up for us. So it's been great, and we're just truly appreciative, and can't stress that enough for you and your willingness to take on that risk with us. So
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you guys so much for the positive feedback. And one of the major things that I think something that Entangled said was that you see often participants in crypto or DeFi or Solana ecosystem, especially can happen in this ecosystem. People are really drawn to things that are, kind of pumponomics, farming or other popular, whatever kind of the flavor of the week is of DeFi, right? And that was one of the main things that we wanted to communicate as we've scaled up, and we've really, although we've had challenges, we've been able to hit some of these goals and really establish an international distribution of nodes and set up this initial network for the beta testing, and have so many active beta testers in our Discord giving us feedback. But what we really wanted to communicate is that this is a real product, and we're generating, this is a real product, a hardware. We're not just some crypto company. We're also this real hardware company that's pulling revenue and funding our development by a sustainable means. Our first product might have some hiccups, some bugs that are being worked out, but the network itself is very strong, and it is pulling, a lot of people are using it and are able to stream HD video, and being able to accomplish something like that. At the same time, some people thinking we're like kind of a meme, or not knowing how seriously to take us. That's been, kind of the uphill battle, making sure that they understand how important what we're trying to do is, and how hard it is as a small team, like Justin said, with maybe not as much funding, or like in your case, completely community backed. In our case, we were a lot of our bootstrapped liquidity before we did any type of seeding or accepted any type of VCs. And we've been extremely diligent with the VCs we've chosen to work with, a very small number of them, and making sure that they align with our vision and see the long-term goal, which is building not just like an incredible product, but really building an incredible team that is willing to put in the hours to make up for the fact that we don't have the funding. And I think one of the ways we can do that, at least on the marketing side, is doing things like this, is pooling kind of our collective reach. And if we have a similar message and we're both in the Solana ecosystem for the long haul, it just seems like the right thing to do to host these type of spaces and get as many people involved from both communities and bring other projects in that meet that same criteria of being long-term builders in the space.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree completely. And I think, it is definitely, just to touch on what you were saying there, it is definitely a challenge that a lot of teams face, is getting that reach, especially even when you have a solid product and a solid existing community. I think sort of tapping into that wider crypto community, let alone sort of non-crypto natives, is a real challenge, and something that we're all sort of learning and navigating through now. I was just wondering if maybe we could pivot onto something a little bit different, and maybe discussing for both of our platforms. We've been talking about a little bit, but what we have lined up for the rest of the year. And I know there'll be things that we can't reveal. I know we've got a few of those things on our side, but is there any sort of major sort of things that the community should know about coming for Boring throughout 2022?
Well, that's an excellent question, and I kind of have to be careful. And in what I can and can't say, I would refer people to our Medium, the Boring Protocol Medium. If you have not read anything about us, if you just Google Boring Protocol Medium, that will get you very up to speed on kind of the state of strategic partners and collaborators. If you have any questions about how are these guys going to pull off shipping a lot of units, all these nodes internationally, or you might be curious, how did they even do this to begin with such a small team? How were they able to distribute 500 nodes to more than a dozen countries? Get that fulfillment process done within a neat time frame. If you're curious about any of that stuff, please go check out our Medium. But some of the most exciting things, I think, is that we're just going to continue to make people realize that if you choose to buy the Boring Protocol, the motherboard V2 or the motherboard SD or any of our products, or become a member of our community, even if you're just purely a speculator and you're in it for a community, just even if you're just looking as a speculator, like I said, but especially those customers, we really want to make it obvious that we're going to take care of y'all and really want to build a solid foundation for the people that have already purchased our product and that are currently using and beta testing the network. There's a lot of ways we're going to do that, but one of the main ways I know that we're really excited about is going to be the kind of the NFT mechanism that will be dropped to the customers. So that'll be just one of the many incentives that is made more apparent to the customers. And the previous customers, being the V1 operators who have already received their motherboards, they're just going to get, kind of always taken care of. And that's the vibe we're really going for, is that moving into 2022, we know 2021, we had some delays with delivering the product. We kind of want to put that behind us and allow ourselves, a certain amount of runway and to meet these expectations on time and really instill this trust, build that trust with the community that we know we can. Because if we're here for the long term, we have to take care of those people, with starting with our customers and starting with the community, those people that are showing up week in and week out to our spaces, our town halls, the customers, people that are in the boardroom, that are executive members, that are helping other beta testers do their node setup. It's really incredible to see. So I think moving to 2022 on my side, I'm sure FOMO would have tons to share about this as well. But the main thing is that we're really gonna try to take more of a mass marketing approach and really build the Boring family just as big as we can, and of course sell as many products as we can. And hopefully we're going to accomplish that through the community that we're looking forward to building. that we've already built thus far.
Yeah, I want to just second that as to what Elle was saying. The Medium is a really great place for you to get up to speed. We don't have a whole lot of articles, and just only recently are shipping 1 or 2 a week. So there's a lot of hints as to what we're trying to do in this, in the next 3 quarters. So that's a great place to start. I would say, keep your eye on the Helium and DY Alliance over the next few weeks. We're going to be having some virtual discussions with them in regards to a solution that we're presenting to kind of help their network. Not to say that it's struggling, but there's some things there. I think that our software and our hardware solution can really add value to that ecosystem, and then beyond that, think about other applications of that hardware. What can this particular node device be applied to help other crypto projects, or just create new utility within boring itself. So those are kind of good hints. Like Elle said, I don't want to write checks that my ass can't cash, but we're doing a lot to try and provide value through that little hardware device, and I think that's going to be a very important theme for the next 3 quarters.
Just dropping some major alpha on this Spaces, FOMO.
Well, we've hinted at that before, but yeah.
What about y'all at Solape? I know that the big UI update was obviously something that must have been really welcome from the community, and I know from being on the boring side, those type of really frontward facing changes, although there might have been tons going on the back end and the community side and the engagement side, that type of stuff really seems to translate when it comes to people that might be speculators or longtime community members. With that UI update, should we expect some more out of that type of behavior, that professionalism and that new code of pain, and more engagement as we're moving into 2022 for Solape?
I can kind of alley-oop this over to you, Kiz, but I want to start by saying at the end of the day, Solape started as a DEX, and the DEX will always be the bread and butter. You heard it from one of the originators' mouth, Techy, that it took a while for it to get to where it is, and not a lot of people know that. A lot of the active community right now doesn't quite understand it, because at the tail end of Q4, we had released a access card NFT that provided users with airdrops, and it would be in bundles of the coins that we had recently got listed. It just so happened that turning the corner into 2022, Q1, the market took a shift. Solana altcoins didn't really look too promising, and we weren't going to just shovel out airdrops and list any coin possible in order to just provide. We wanted to make sure that we were taking the right procedures and protocols to work with the right platforms, get the right coins listed, and coins that we're looking to have good success and perform well. And so now our more recent developments that I'm sure Kiz will go into, because we have the team already that's set, that works on the decks day in and day out. But more recently now, we have been catering to, okay, we have a very widespread NFT community now. We need to cater to them. So we've had to make adjustments and pivot in ways to make sure that we are, providing for those holders. And I'll let you take it from here, Kiz, so I don't end up saying something that I shouldn't.
Yeah, no, that's really good. Just to sort of answer the question itself and what you can expect out of Solape over the coming year. Yeah, more UI updates, definitely. We hope that everyone enjoyed the most recent reskin. And as you mentioned, we've got the amazing Techy over there, doing all of those designs for us. But we do have more in the works. We're going to be looking at integrating the Jupiter swap into the Solape swap, which is currently Serum native. So we think that's something that a lot of people will be excited about, just because we know that Jupiter is such a great aggregator, and would love to get that over on Solape as well. So on the DEX side of things, yeah, you can definitely expect more UI updates coming. As fast as we can deliver them, it is tougher than it seems, but we will be doing our best to get those out as quickly as possible and making further, I guess, amendments, improvements to how people interact, especially with that market making side of trading, placing the limit orders, placing the market orders. I think we're really interested in exploring the most sort of intuitive way that can be set up, and really excited for how that's going to turn out and what we'll be delivering throughout the year. But to touch a little bit on what Justin said as well, something that we are building into, and we have been building into throughout the start of this year, is sort of the NFT side of the Solape ecosystem. And just like Justin mentioned, we have the access card that has utilities attached to it. And we're looking, we have currently been working on some big things for that. And so obviously we can't reveal any specifics, but we've got a lot of exciting things planned for people that are really into the NFT side of things. And of course, the DEX is going to be just pumping along as it always has been. So I think that's sort of a general indication of where we're heading. We also have a few articles that are on the way up as well, which will be able to give people a little bit more clear indication of what those timelines might look like. And you can also head over to our docs page, which has sort of more general information about what we've achieved so far as well. So I think that gives a general sort of idea of where we're heading.
I just want to jump in, give some more context on the actual UI updates. I'm gonna focus on feature-rich updates for the UI. So we're gonna look at extending the capabilities of the DEX, while also shifting some panels around and making it much more streamlined to use. Later in the year, I plan to sort of focus more on the mobile side of things. So we wanna be the DEX that people can also use on your phone, but a DEX, not a centralized exchange or a centralized exchange phone app, just a DEX that's usable on mobile, and having the wallets that are now capable of doing that on smartphones is what's gonna make that possible. It was not possible a couple of months ago, basically. So yeah, that's gonna be the UI side of things.
That's awesome. I think there's a real I know for a long time, at least 2 or 3 years, crypto's kind of been obsessed with making things really user friendly. And one of the coolest things I think about Solape is you take that fundamental idea of kind of like for lack of better terms, like a sexy DEX, like a centralized exchange adjacent looking DEX that is going to be familiar to someone that comes from any type of background, whether it be just a gate trader from some international country, or some college kid who's using Coinbase in the US, and they want to better protect themselves from privacy. Obviously there's a huge upside to using things like DEXs and not using non-custodial wallets. So you own your crypto, and people understanding that and fully getting onto the DEX side of things as quickly as possible. Solape allowing that, and obviously being in the Solana ecosystem for a while, it seems like it makes sense to me that if there's going to be a really user-friendly DEX that will have long-term success and has had long-term success, paired with your guys' integration with however, I don't know the proper term, but integration with a Jupiter aggregator onto your side of things as well, with the mobile UI or the mobile development, just paired with all those things, it seems like 2022 is going to be a really big year for onboarding people into the side of decentralized exchanges by way of yourselves, right? Seems like a really great thing to be doing, and like you're moving in the right direction 100%. We know that mobile usage drives a lot of the internet is mobile usage, obviously, and strictly in a lot of countries. So you're automatically just opening your user base, exponentially. Seems like you guys have a really bright future.
Yeah, I mean that's sort of the idea of just making it easy to switch, which hasn't really been the case so far. If someone's coming off a centralized exchange or any other trading app, it's kind of hard. It's been hard to get into the ecosystem and switch the thinking to a decentralized system. And what we want to do is make it really simple and make it feel native. Which, yeah, that's the basic idea.
I have a question for you all on the Solape team. How do you see the future of crypto in regards to the centralized exchange versus decentralized exchange argument? Do you see at some point a quote unquote flippening to where decentralized exchanges are the more often medium of exchange as opposed to the centralized exchanges? Do you feel that shift, not just in the last few years, has been to the advantage of decentralized exchanges? And what do you see as far as the future in that perspective?
I'll try to offer my opinion here without going on too much of a tangent, but I think what we've seen ultimately in between sort of the centralized and decentralized sort of adoption rates, we've seen I think, and please somebody quote me if I'm wrong on this, but a greater adoption of centralized exchanges, just because that is sort of the natural, I guess, onboarding process for non-crypto natives into the scene. So I can't recall when it was exactly, but seeing platforms like FTX pop up on major commercials and all the sort of advertising that's been going on, I think there's definitely been a huge influx into the centralized side of things. And the way I see that, as someone who's part of a team building on a decentralized exchange, I see that as it's a win for us, because I think once people start, it's going to be a long process, I think, when you sort of talk about a global impact. But I think, the more people that get on centralized exchanges, the more people that get onboarded to the process of using crypto. Maybe we can catch them before that. But I think once people understand, how this all works, I think the prospect of being on a decentralized exchange becomes much more enticing. And I think people who are concerned with, managing their own keys, managing their own finances, I think we're going to see that flippening eventually happen. But I think it might just take a little bit longer than some people might have been previously predicting. That's just my 2 cents on it. But ultimately, I see more people coming into exchanges in general, which was not something that was something that like my friends would be discussing like 10 years ago. But it seems like people in their early 20s are now sort of talking about that and showing each other like the Binance app and all that kind of stuff. So there is this sort of I'm not sure what the right term is, but this overall adoption that is happening. And so I think ultimately that's going to be a win for us on decentralized exchanges once the masses are a little bit more clued in.
If
I
I
would
could, go ahead, Techy.
I would tend to agree. I think there's going to be an increased amount of people coming in. The more people feel scammed by TradFi, and I think a lot of that's going to be happening in the following years. And given the current circumstances with everything that's going on in the world, people are going to realize the need to have more control over their assets and how they spend their money and how they use it. And I think that's going to push a lot of people into crypto. But the major role that's left to play is on ramps and off ramps, and also providing a place or function to spend your crypto for daily life things. So once that sort of gets clued in, then people will have little reason to leave the ecosystem. And once they're in, they will not be willing to go out because of superior technology and better opportunities overall. So I think it's a combination of many factors is going to produce a very positive direction for crypto. Now, I'm obviously an optimist. There's also other alternative roads in the sense of the future, but I like to think that way, and I think that's what's going to happen. Yeah.
I wanted to touch on things from a perspective of, I'm assuming I'm probably the freshman up here. I'm sure all of you have multiple years of experience in Web3 and crypto on me, and it's probably harder for you to look back on those days before you red pilled in. For me, it wasn't that long ago. It was actually just around a year. And I think for me, I think one of the biggest things that needs to get solved, or at least just have like a smoother process, is the barrier to entry, right? I think when people are onboarding for the first time, if you're not getting handheld, spoon fed through the process, it's scary, it's nerve wracking, it's an anxiety filled process. Fortunately for me, I had someone to hold my hand through, and was fortunate enough to be able to network when I got into the space, and knew how to be social, and knew how to work my way onto that table of value, to be surrounded by people that I can continue to learn and continue to provide from my life experiences with as well. But I think for a lot of people that haven't adopted crypto and Web3, it's not going to be as easy for them. And the second that they get burned for the first time, they're out, and they start speaking on the narrative to their people, which turns that group of people away, and it's a snowball effect of a negative connotation behind something genuinely beautiful that's being built here. Techy hit a nail on the head. Shout out to GameStop. What was it, a couple years ago, for shining a true light on TradFi and how bullshit that whole system is. But people feel more comfortable there because it's centralized, and they have that safety net of being able to call a customer service line and things of that nature, and choose to invest on those side of things, as opposed to coming over here and thinking outside the box, for a lack of a better term. But I think overall, it's going to come to a point where it might not be a flippening, but it might be something where it's even playing field, as far as where people decide to feel comfortable and see opportunities for them to find successes in their lives, and to invest for their children and their children's children. And that's I'm going to stop myself there, because I remember kids saying not going on a tangent. I'll probably do the same thing here, but yeah, I think the time is around the corner for at least an even playing field, for sure.
Well, I think your guys' approach, like vetting the coins that are going to be partnered or listed, whatever verbiage you guys would like to, whatever verbiage you all use, but we're ultimately going to be able to make even if it's slowly, I'm not going to sit here and say, there's going to be 150,000 people onboarded by way of this, but you never know. But the main thing that my takeaway from you guys at Solape is, like, if the goal is participants have the knowledge and the access to the tools right off the bat, they're going to need a decentralized exchange designed like yourselves, and ultimately a decentralized exchange like yourself that has higher quality projects because you vetted them and you feel like this is something that's important. You're going to have just by way, just because of that, the way you guys operate, you're going to have less people who are turned away from crypto ultimately, because they won't have the ability to get as hurt as easily. The ability's there, I guess, but as opposed to just pasting contract addresses into some Ethereum swap or whatever, whichever one you'd like to use, one in Sushi Swap or whatnot. Plenty of people are really upset by that kind of the finality of crypto. Like, you send money to the wrong address, like, you can't, like you said, you can't get on the phone with customer support, but people will be willing to overlook those things if they have a first experience with something like Solape, where they aren't exposed to some of these higher, they will understand it's higher risk by nature being on decentralized exchange, and that's part of the education process. But they will also understand that there's personal liberties that could be, at stake, or monetary security issues with using a centralized exchange, and that trade-off especially with someone like yourselves that has a great UI and vets those coins, will probably seem like it's very worth it for them, and then there's somebody new in the ecosystem that's probably there to stay because they're not being turned away. That just seems like such a no-brainer, from even if you're looking like from the outside in perspective. You can't mitigate that risk, that finality of the blockchain, but that education and kind of building training wheels for these people, if you will, something that's built for their good and not just throwing them to the wolves right off the bat. I think people would have a much better first crypto experience if their first DEX was someone like yourselves, for example. So just to give you guys your props you deserve and tell you that it seems completely obvious in hindsight now that you guys are moving towards this, have been moving towards this kind of model for a long time, and with the UI update, it just really seems like it's going to be a great future for you guys, especially being community backed, and no VCs just makes it even better.
Yeah, I want to piggyback on that praise because I remember very clearly, um, almost a year ago, when you guys launched the BOP USDC pair on your exchange. We had a lot of people in our community trying to learn how to navigate a decentralized exchange, and when we were presented with issues by those community members, you guys' commitment to them and customer service towards them was fantastic. You guys took care of every one of the people that we sent your way, and were very responsive. So, you guys. We talk about how we're doing things different in the future, but the things that you're doing the same a year later, it's very refreshing. So I just wanted to show some appreciation for that too. I think it's really important, being having the products that our two very different projects have. There's still is a very important focus on customer service, and it's kind of the unsung heroes. I guess not career but job with our projects. The people that are dealing with these people that are very new to crypto day in and day out, and answering a lot of the same questions over and over again, and being those people that are holding the hands of the new guys. They put in a lot of work, and at times it's incredibly frustrating, especially given that we're doing all this over the internet, not over a counter at some brick and mortar business. It can be a huge stressor. So kudos to you guys for sticking to that, and for doing it in the first place, because I know the work that's involved, and I know the level of anxiety that you can get, not only trying to protect these people and their financial interests, but just protect them from themselves and help them learn the pitfalls that we deal with day to day. So
For sure. And, being in this space and in this the wild west era of everything that's being built in Web3, I find it to be super important, for me personally, right? These are my morals, where I don't want to work with people that don't have good intentions. So it was a no-brainer for me hopping in with the Solape team, and it became more and more apparent with every day, to where now I feel like this is family. Everyone on the team is focused on building something to give to the people, and in the right way, and by any means necessary. And it's been a beautiful thing, because I have been reeled in with other offers and opportunities where the intentions weren't there. And I think a lot of people put it's at the end of the day, I keep saying that over again, I'm sorry, but we are a business, right? We need to act accordingly and treat our platforms in this space like a business, because we want to be taken seriously. But I think we're in the era where financial gain doesn't have to be numero uno on the priority list, because being in this era of building, I think with a zoomed out vision and planning for the future, if you do things organically and you do things for the people, and you're doing things that you feel like would benefit yourself if you were a consumer, I think the benefits of being a proper business and finding the funds to be able to continue to push your visions forward and expand teams and build on developments comes organically. And in this space, we have to fight a lot of people that come in here for a quick cash grab, right? I mean, that's why I think this is so fucking dope. And pardon my French, but like 1 year in this space, 1 year on Solana with how new Solana is, like she's still in beta, And so to be able to be here with the boring team and with my fellow brothers here at Solape, and to know that the 1 year mark has been passed already, it blows my mind. And I love it. I love every moment. It's great to be here.
Can I
That's
just
exactly
say,
how
like,
I
boring
felt.
team, you're making us all blush, man, all the time with all the praise. Just have a little cheeky confession to make. The initial rebrand of the Soli, because some of you maybe remember the very old logo with like the Solana colors. The initial rebrand color inspiration came from you guys. So I literally just went and saw your logo and your brand, and I was like, yeah, we're gonna get those colors.
Heck yeah, man.
So
We'll
thanks.
send the bill right over.
Yeah, you can do that.
That's awesome. Yep, we love the psychology behind the boring brand and the Solate brand and the colors and all that. It's pretty neat. So orange, I think orange is color of happiness or something like that. Maybe it's yellow. I don't know, but very very exciting colors to me. Design is one of those things you've got to have in crypto. Everybody, like you said, attention spans are short, and to have people's attention, you kind of got to have the shiny new thing at all times. So it's incredibly important.
Yeah, the first hacker house I went to in LA, I want to say it was the first of the year. Someone had I want to say it was like one of the original Boring Protocol like team jerseys, like the more like satiny material Boring Protocol jerseys.
Oh yeah,
I fell in love with that thing. I thought it was awesome. So when we planned for our trip to Miami, we spent a good portion of time designing the shirts, and they were accepted with open arms by everyone. I was actually afraid that we were going to run out. We had to like budget the number of shirts that we were bringing per day, because everyone loved them everywhere we went during that event. People were stoked on them. And you're right. Branding's important. That's the way you make noise. That's some people were coming up to us, had no idea what we were about, had never heard the name, but strictly saw the ape and read the name. Was like, hey, like I want to know what's behind that ape. Probably shout out to Board Ape Yacht Club, right, for making a lot of noise over the last year. But yeah, it's been great. Like I keep going down that route because I know that we wanted to shine a light on the 1 year anniversary here with our platforms, and it's a beautiful thing.
yep, absolutely. We're pretty proud of our swag. Those jerseys that you're talking about, those are actually the jerseys that we use for our esports team. I don't know if you guys know that we have a esports team. We got a professional PUBG mobile team, and they actually just qualified for Americas, so they're going to be doing that at the end of the month. That's pretty exciting, and that's a really good offshoot for us to put a little bit of investment into. VPNs are pretty important for the gaming industry, and then with the different geopolitical restraints, we're seeing they're going to become even more prevalent within the gaming industry. So that's been a really great deal for us, and it's been exciting and fun to be involved in that too. But yeah, speaking of swag, do we want to try and pick a couple people in the audience to give boring hoodies to? Is that
Maybe we should do something a little bit where we might see if anyone wants to come up and ask any questions, and if they're brave enough to come up and speak with us, we can maybe incentivize them with the hoodie. I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud, but could be an idea.
yeah?
Or just give it away.
That's great. We can do that as soon as Solape is good with it. We can open it up to questions from the community, and maybe if we get flooded with questions, maybe we just pick a few, and if not, we can just take whoever comes and give them that. So
Yeah,
Well,
yeah, we had
if
thought about
Solate doesn't mind, oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say we came prepared as well. We have a couple of our NFT access cards as well as some shirts left over from the merch run in Miami that we were looking to give away as well. I had thought about doing something along the lines of speaking out loud in here for someone to post something specific and like the first X amount of people, or picking someone through like the Twitter giveaway picker through that. So we can do that, or we can take questions. Either way works for us for sure.
Why don't we see if someone wants to come up and ask some questions first? See if we got any confident folks that want to get up here.
Yeah, before we start debating it, yeah, see if we can get some people up here who want to share or just say what's up or ask some questions. I think we have a couple in the requests. Perfect.
Yeah. I brought up a fellow dead god here, Soul Visitor.
Hey there.
What's going on, my friend?
Awesome to be celebrating the 1 year anniversary of, like, I feel like in Solana years, that's like got to be a 12 or 13-year anniversary, right? Couple of questions I had for Boring. Are you doing something different with VPN that has to do with Web3, or would you say features-wise fairly comparable to kind of the other established VPN products out there?
Yeah, so yes and no. We are doing a lot of things different. We are implementing some things that we feel are strengths from those direct competitors. Our focus has been, building this network in a more decentralized way from what you might see from the existing DVPNs. Some of them have hardware, some of them do not. So there's ins and outs to the differences between each of them. But I think the main thing is, we've bootstrapped most of our early development, and because of that, we aren't beholden to any funds or investors in the way that the network proceeds as far as development goes. We wanted to keep our commitment to the community at the forefront, of how we were doing things. So that's been really important. These other DVPNs, they've got partners in big tech or funds that have kind of swayed them either way, and they're not quite as decentralized, and really we're not as decentralized as what I think we want to be in the future. So I think that's probably the primary difference between us and the others. Yeah,
Could kind of elaborate a little on that as well, FOMO, if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
Like for the Web3 aspect, I think the coolest thing that we're plugging in, and this isn't necessarily we're the first people to do this, but obviously being the first people on Solana, which makes the most sense if you're doing lots of, like micro transactions. You don't want to be doing a lot of transactions on a network like Ethereum if you have a user who's wanting to pay $3 or $5 or $10 per month per their usage on a VPN network, and you're kind of running that through Ethereum. I mean, your fees are going to be astronomical unless you're even on an L2. It could be like, if you're paying $5 a month for your VPN and it's 95 cents on the L2, that's still like a pretty good chunk, unacceptable chunk of your payment. That's a percentage of your payment that you're going to have to either pay in excess, or it comes out of your rewards, or a combination of the two. And another really cool thing that we're setting out to do is that, like FOMO said, the way that we have let very few, we've been very exclusive about the type of funds that have been, kind of welcomed into the family and that have been chosen and have chose us to partner with them. And going outside of the traditional channels that you might get from companies that have many millions of dollars of funding right off the bat, we kind of have had this really slow natural progression that is very well documented, and you can kind of see that, okay, they did the kind of a crowdfunding for the first one. It took them this long to deliver 500 nodes and distribute them to over a dozen countries internationally. Now you can go to our Medium and see that, okay, well, they're starting to make partners, and this many more units are going to be available right now for pre-order. Thousands of V2, potentially thousands of motherboard SD, and why we believe and we're confident we're going to be able to deliver those on a very concise or a very very close to the time that we've given ourselves, as opposed to how we had difficulty and we missed the deadline back in November and we had to push that back due to developmental delays. We're really trying to improve upon that and build this really long, really strong base of information and documentation that shows that's just extremely transparent too. This is a small team. We bootstrapped liquidity a lot, and we are on this very controlled but almost kind of explosive growth, going from 500 units exponentially growing to then shoot for potentially several thousands of units. And on the motherboard SD side, even kind of the sky's the limit, because we can produce those so easily and have them so readily available moving forward. So the big thing is that I think you struggle to find a lot of these competitors that might be as transparent and involved with the community without having, and at the same time not having kind of that vampiristic VC influence, where you would be essentially dumped on by some multi-million-dollar, billion-dollar fund as a speculator. So it doesn't just make a good prospect from a customer if you want to be providing your bandwidth to earn passive income, because the trajectory is there, and you can see that the growth has already been very sustained, and it seemingly looks like, we believe we'll be able to accomplish the goals that we set out, and just constantly sharing those updates and making sure that our message is communicated. I think that's really rare in the space, honestly, where you can come in and have that almost one-on-one with someone like FOMO, the CEO and founder. I use the term CEO, but founder and fearless leader of Boring. He's very active in the Discord, and I think that's super rare, like, to go in and get that type of experience. And same thing with you kind of get with Solape as well. The team is small and very passionate about the product. That's what really separates it. And I think long term teams, passionate teams, those are the teams you want to bet on time and time again.
Thanks. And is the hardware device the main way to sort of participate in the, I guess, financial success, as well as the technological deployment of the Boring protocol? Or do you also have like a holder NFT? Do you do any rev share splits or anything like that? Or is it kind of just participants get to participate?
Yeah, so currently the hardware is the most direct means to participate in the network, and then reach your ROI or generate your passive income based on the traffic that your node is receiving from these clients of the VPN. So that's the case now. The plan, I think, to kind of, you may have missed it earlier, I hinted at the stresses that we've kind of dealt with in regards to supplying ourselves with the overhead and the hardware materials, with the global climate supply chains kind of cooked right now. So we were able to, get a lot of these PCBs that our software runs on for the V2. But I think we move towards a software solution, and part of that software solution is anybody being able to run the VPN on multiple different styles of OSs. The issue with that is if we give that if we give that software out and we let people download it for free, that we're not able to really control the node count on the network, and so you have dilution. If you have a strong dilution of nodes, and you don't have equal parts clients accessing those nodes, everyone that is operating a node, their revenue is going to drop off significantly. That's kind of what we're seeing within Helium right now, right? They're exploding as far as node count, but the economics there with the token are not really in place to keep everybody generating a sustainable income through those devices. So what we're thinking about and getting close to revealing is an NFT that you would be able to purchase, or you'll get dropped with your existing V1 or V2 purchase, that allows you to operate that software on the network. And then it's kind of like a gated access, so we can just put that firmware out there for free. But in order for you to take part in boring with that firmware, you would need that NFT, and we can kind of control the supply of those NFTs based on what we're seeing as far as that balance between overall bandwidth or node count that's on the network, and then the client side demand, right? So it's going to be really important from a marketing perspective here in the next couple quarters, that people are sharing through socials or whatever forums, that their nodes are profitable. And the more profitable those nodes are, the more interest we're going to get from the broader community that maybe wants to get involved, and having some plan in place to not only grow the demand from the clients, but also be able to grow the network when necessary is from a node standpoint is really important. So there's a lot of balance that we're going to have to be doing there. But I don't know necessarily that that's revenue sharing or anything. But the people that operate in the nodes are the ones going to be making the greatest amount of income on our network. I think we will implement later down the line some sort of like transaction fee for us to have a revenue within the core team and the business side of things. But I don't know that we want to implement that right away. We want this to kind of take off like wildfire, and I worry that us trying to get early money from the network operation itself is maybe not the way to go. We've got the hardware sales that we're generating in revenue from, and we're a pretty frugal team, so we made it a long way on a little bit of funding. So I think that it's going to be our best bet, our best foot forward in regards to that. We're not really a DeFi product, and we don't have the Ponzi-nomics, so to speak, that maybe you see with some of these other coins, and we haven't put a lot of effort into that, but definitely later down the line is something that could be discussed, and that's, as with anything else, something that we rely heavily on our community's input in regards to. So, yeah.
Well, that's pretty cool. I mean, I know so many of those VPN products that are currently commercially available have like heavy affiliate referral programs, because they're just are sort of money making machines if you can get a subscription for it. And I could just see for yours or this one, if you made it cost competitive, if not even cheaper than the existing products, and this NFT basically is buying a little piece of our company, I could see that being tremendously interesting to a lot of people.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you for kind of touching on that too, because it reminded me, one of the really cool things is that this NFT is, the main thing is that it allows us to not just give you this reward. This NFT is a means of like a software license kind of, and protect against piracy, sort of. It does function like that, but the real thing is it's kind of bankrolling you into this ecosystem, this boring protocol ecosystem of rewards that our even earliest adopters are starting to already feel. We've already extended to our beta testers, all of our beta testers who have bought the V1 or the motherboard V1. So the people that have the nodes in their possession right now, they are experiencing the network for free. They're able to use the network for free as a means of a complimentary service on our end as we are working out the kinks on the network. And that just, I don't want to take too much time away and ramble on anymore, but just to give an idea that this type of reward system and incentivization of the customers to come back and join this community and get more involved. If they're not into NFTs, now they're becoming more aware of NFTs and the utility and kind of why we did this and our documentation, breaking it down in a way that's really easily understood for all people of the community, and taking in that feedback so we can have this extremely easy to use. And by the way, the VPN interface, you can feel free to look up Boring Protocol YouTube Q1 ad, and you will be able to see the full kind of what all these beta testers are using exactly. It's the specific interface. The VPN is live, and we're pushing what Google considers fine internet speeds, and people have been streaming and beta testing on the VPN that we've built for I believe it's been active for at least 2 months now, at least being able to stream and use data and support many users concurrently out of one node exit point. So it's been really promising, and like I said, I won't ramble, but we are built different. I know everybody says that, but we really are.
That's awesome. Thanks for sharing a little bit more. And Solape, I saw your mint, and it looked like you had a cool card. And honestly, I didn't read your white paper or full documentation. Do you mind just give again the quick elevator pitch of what that did?
Buy card, get coin.
Yeah, no, I can. Yeah, that was very good. Thank you, Justin. I can touch on that. Yeah. So the Solape NFT, the Solape Access Card, was, I guess, kind of an idea and an experiment that we created in the later half of last year, and we'd already been delivering through the Solape DEX platform and through our token holders. We'd been delivering airdrops and value and rewards back to our community, which was, so one of the sort of fundamental concepts of what brought about Solape in the first place. And so the NFT creation was our experiment into being able to provide value back to a larger amount of holders and to also welcome new participants into Solape, essentially. And so, obviously, I think Justin touched on it earlier in the call, but obviously, since the inception of the NFT card, we've delivered 5 airdrops out to all holders. These values might not have been what people were hoping for, and being hit by a bear market, just shortly after the card was released, was obviously something we didn't foresee happening. But again, just to give you a little bit more of a white paper-esque feel to what comes with holding one of our Solape NFT cards, we do provide, as mentioned, airdrops. These airdrops are sporadic, so they are delivered to the community when they become available, when we are able to source partnerships and agreements with teams that we trust to welcome into our community, and we can reach some kind of collaborative agreement to provide the community with, I guess, like a taste tester into their token and into what it is that they do. So, that is one of the fundamental perks that we have attached to owning the Access card. But like I mentioned before, it is an experiment and it goes much beyond that. Another thing that we are really excited about attaching to ownership of that is this concept of early access into future implementations of the decentralized exchange. We have a number of things that we are working on for the DEX that were touched on earlier by Techy in regards to design. And, we plan to be able to roll out features early to Solape Access card holders, and a little bit without revealing too much alpha. A little bit further down on the track, that will also include ongoing access to future DEX features. But so it is an experiment that we using as a means to deliver value back to new holders and new participants in the Solape realm. But we're currently working on a few things specifically for holders, actually, which again we've been teasing at for a few weeks, and we really we want to drop the alpha, but there's one or two things we need to finalize and make sure that everything is taken care of, and we've crossed all of our T's and dotted our I's. But we have something exciting coming, which we can't wait to reveal to everyone. So, I hope that gives you a bit of a sort of a general answer to your question.
And if somebody buys one on secondary, like if I'm remembering correctly, on the cards themselves, do they have your name on it or your handle? And does that get updated if you buy one on secondary?
Yes, so currently the cards available on secondary, they just have a code number which is attached to them. We have these attributes with our NFTs in the metadata, which is your ape IQ score, so how smart you are, and we also have your preferred crayon color as well. So those are a couple of metadata features that are tied into the Axis card, and they have a role to play in something very special, which I obviously can't say yet, but yes, so that should be fine. Sorry,
I'll
just
let
give me
it be
one moment.
known that this was spread. The alpha was spread super early, and probably too early, because the development has been ongoing, and we want to make sure that before we reveal anything of sustenance, that we have all of our ducks in a row. Refer to the beginning of our highlight reel for the ducks in a row reference.
Sorry, just to jump in real quick,
Yeah.
just before you finish, Justin, just to answer Visitor's question, in regard to, I just missed that at the end, in regard to updating your personal handle and your personal alias. Personalization of the cards is something that will be arriving a little bit later. It's, again, one of these things that we need to figure out all of the kinks for. But that is something that you can actually read about in one of our earliest Medium articles for the Solape Access card. So what I'll do, I'm not sure if you're in the Discord channel or not, but I will try and drop a link through there. If not, send a DM through to you with some more information about that as well.
Awesome, thanks. Because yeah, and didn't you have like a DGods like custom one too? If I'm remembering correctly.
Sorry, a DGods what? Sorry?
Like a custom DGods Solape card, or am I misremembering that?
I don't think so. I might. That might be escaping my mind right now, but that's not ringing any bells. Apologies if I'm wrong.
No worries.
I just wanted to finish my thought there on, there was alpha spread really early on with the upcoming developments of the card, being that the IQ on the cards are going to hold significance later down the line. I had posted which IQs, but essentially it's a select few between. It goes from 1 to 200, so there was a select few in between the highest and the lowest, and then there's a bracket of the lowest 1 through 10, and then the highest 190 to 200 that are gonna hold a form of significance later down the line. We had given that out a bit ago, so I just wanted to reiterate that here in case anyone is looking to get a little more exposed into what we're doing, getting involved. We haven't given out any other information other than that as of now, but it looks like we're getting pretty close to being able to start giving a little more hints and sneak previews.
So, in other words, pertaining to the NFTs and the potential use for Solape, we should keep our eyes and ears open, just in case something the Ducks are getting put in a row, and just to be ready for something regarding that NFT. Am I understanding that correctly?
Yeah, something's brewing.
So something is brewing. Okay, it seems very mysterious, and like I should be more prepared for it, but I don't have enough information to prepare for what this is. But
Well, it's kind of in that wheelhouse of like what you said, where you don't want to write checks that your ass can't cash, sort of thing. So we just want to make sure that we got all the technicals ready to go. We've got everything ironed out, and then when it's time to start giving more significant hints and trailers and sneak previews, we'll be unveiling those. But you guys will be one of the first. I've come to you, El, several times on some of the developments on things that we've put together. So I'll
yes,
reach out to you directly.
big things definitely. Big things definitely. From what I am exposed to, I hope the community can rest assured that definitely some interesting talks, and it very, very exciting. And I think that's why we choose time and time again over the past year to return and do these types of things. And especially now that we're still around and we're both making big marketing pushes and making these trying to attract this greater audience going into 2022, 23. Just doing all these spaces and doing more interactive things, whether it be, if we're both at the same hacker house, saying what's up or doing a space every now and then, I think is really, really important moving forward. And they couldn't think of basically a better Dex, on Solana to really pair up with, with Jupiter integrating with you all. And everybody loves Jupiter for their efficiency and their UI, and you guys moving in the right direction and having that, it's just, who doesn't love apes on Solana? The first mover advantage is always going to be there. The mimetic value's there, and a strong team that's community bootstrapped is also there. It checks all the boxes if you want to look at it from a speculative point or a partnership point. It just seems like a really underrated and strong team within the ecosystem. And I know we often hear people say similar things like about Solape and Bop in the same breath. People who have just continued to build despite, for lack of better terms, fudders or whatever. I hate that term, but when market conditions can not be great, a lot of teams turn tail and run, and you've seen that with, like yourselves and us. That's just not the case. If anything, we're gonna be more stubborn and dig our feet in and be like Liquid and try to make our product be heard better and attract that wider audience and build what we've really set out to do on that 1, 3, 5 year plan. Looking out, these little market conditions, these little blips on the chart don't really matter if you're truly focused on the bigger picture. So just giving you guys the kudos again, and really excited to hear more about, because I'm hearing for the first time this type of alpha regarding the potential of the NFT and the stuff like that, just like everybody else in this call is. So just makes me more excited and really more bullish on the team, for lack of better terms. But I'm not sure how we could, be more bullish on the Solape team. That's why we choose to work with you all so often. Just giving you guys your credit where it's due.
That's amazing. Thanks, guys. And also, thank you to Soul Visitor for that question, that series of questions. Actually, that was awesome. I'm not sure. Do we have anyone else that wanted to run through a question? I think we might have someone up here.
Ebby, am I saying that right? Ebby.
Just while we're waiting to see if we can have this person connect through, something an additional in terms of the giveaways. If you are able to head over to the Solape Discord server and jump into our holders channel, we're going to be giving away a few Solape access cards in there. So that'll start up in the next couple of minutes, but it'll communications can carry on through into the Discord server. So not to worry, if you guys head over there, you should be able to find that.
Is the giveaway channel in the token gated section? Is that Is that the channel you're talking about?
That is the channel, correct?
Okay. Mailman, are you here?
Yeah, I'm here. What up, Solape? What up, Boring Protocol? Two Solana blue chips at this point here after a year. Just wanted to bring up a question. I have a couple of the access cards, but I have a larger stake in the Solape token. So I was just wanting to know if there was any Solape token alpha that would be on the way.
I can answer this briefly, Carl. So right now, you might know with the Solape token, there's very little actual interactions you can make with the token other than sort of farming liquidity on Radium or things like that. Something to look forward to for token holders, and I won't say when, but hopefully soon, is being able to actually use your Solape. That's going to be sort of tied into a few things coming up with both the NFT collection and I can't say too much more, but potentially a store coming out as well. So there's going to be some exciting things happening for Solape holders, Solape token holders. And we definitely haven't forgotten about you guys, man. Don't worry. We've got some things planned, and we look forward to being able to actually have a bit more of, I guess, an intimate conversation with the Solape community through upcoming town halls too. So hang around for those, and we might be able to dish out some more details over the next week or two.
And I don't know if I should speak on this, but I'm going to anyway. But we took a lot of inspiration from what Frank DeGod and the DeGods have built for their community and their ecosystem. Kiz was actually working directly with Frank to help them with their tokenomics launch. So if that's any indicator, we're definitely looking to move into a realm where we can really cultivate a community within and under the Solape umbrella and build out an ecosystem within, not just the DEX, not just the NFT, but, something much larger than that with a zoomed out vision. So we're super excited. I got to meet Kiz in person. We live on separate sides of the globe, and we got to meet in Miami. And the vibes were there, man. We were cranking out ideas, and we've been on multiple 2-hour plus long calls, going over things, constantly talking in DMs on Telegram and Discord, and it's been exciting. The fire's lit under the Solape for sure, and we're ready to rock and roll this year.
Hey, that sounds baller. We will patiently wait as you guys do the good work that you do. Thanks a lot.
Hey, thanks so much, Carl. Appreciate it, man. And just again to follow up with everyone with what I was saying before, the giveaway for 5 Solape access cards is now live in the Solape Discord server. That's going to be up for about the next 10 minutes or so. So if you're able to head over there at your leisure, you should be able to click a little reaction in the giveaways channel and go in the draw to win one of those.
And then Boring, I don't know if you had planned to do something live here. If you want to direct people back to your Discord for a hoodie drop or something of sorts, and then we can hop in a quick chat right after this space too, and go over something maybe we can launch collaborative together on Twitter to get some hype going there as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me go ahead and post grab one of the Discord links and see if I can post it in the pinned tweet at the top of this, so we have 2 pinned tweets. But if you guys will just click the either our Discord's on our link, or you can like the link in our bio on Twitter, I should say, or you can click the YAT, so the whole computer hole YAT. You can click that, and that will take you to our Discord as well. The YAT is really simple, so just go to our profile, and if you want to hop in the Discord, I'm not sure if there's a lot of people that are going to be wanting to hop in the Discord, but we would implore you guys that all of the biggest updates and all of the biggest, like the town halls that we do every Friday around 1 p.m. CST. That's a reoccurring thing, happens in our Discord, and that's where we leak a ton of alpha and we share all of the most recent developments, because that's where our core community hangs out and shows up to those town halls. If you guys want to flood into the Discord general, so hop in our general and shoot a message. We can pick either a combination of some people that hopped in the Discord from the space or some people in the space as well. I know that we've got someone on our team who's been screen recording this the whole time, so we have a good idea of all the members that have been in here, so we can either do a pick from the Discord or pick from here, or a combination of both. But I definitely think we're gonna give away FOMO. What would you say? You think we're in the giving mood in the first year anniversary? See if we can give away maybe one in Discord or one from the people who just happened to listen in.
Yeah, so let's pick one of the questions, the people that asked the questions. I think Saul Visitor. If you'll DM me, we're gonna get you a swag. And then everybody else that wants to enter, maybe head over to the Discord and say what's up in general. And here pretty quick, we'll pick one of y'all to get some swag and maybe a one-time discount code for the V2 sale. Maybe that interests you as well. We can hook you up with one of those. So yeah, I want to thank everybody for coming. I've got a jet here pretty quick. Got a daughter to pick up from school. So thank you to the Solape team just for your continued support and partnership. You guys are golden. We really love everything that you're doing and who you are as people at the end of the day. So yeah, that's my spiel. Again, thank you to everybody in the community for coming. Never hesitate to reach out to me or the boring team if you have further questions. We're approachable. We make ourselves available to you guys to try and evangelize our product a little bit, or crypto in general. We want to help people stay safe, just from a privacy perspective. From what we were talking about earlier.
I think we're losing
It's
you,
really
Moby.
important.
Yeah, Moby, we got the robotics going
We
on.
caught majority of it though, brother, and we appreciate you and the feelings mutual. Go take care of your fam. Drive safe. We'll talk soon. It's probably a good time here. We're passing the 90-minute mark. We appreciate everyone that showed up here. Be sure to stay tapped in both the Boring and Solape Discords. We will be having more of these collaborative spaces, whether it be on Twitter or in Discord itself. And be on the lookout for the developments. We really do feel like 2022 is the year to build, especially under Solana herself. So be on the lookout. Appreciate everyone here showing up on the panel, everyone in the audience as well. Hop into those Discords, get into those giveaways, get involved, be a part of something special, because we're here for the long time and the good time.
Absolutely. Thank you guys. First, I'd like to thank Solape for joining us today and taking the time to share our vision again with you all and share it with our hopefully what's becoming almost one community on this Solana ecosystem side, that hopefully everyone who's following us is following Solape at this point, and vice versa. You all should be in their Discord, and all of our community should start hopping in their Discord, because we'll just keep doing these collaborative things and building upon this good foundation we've built over the past year. Just lastly, want to thank out everyone from the community that's listened in. I really appreciate all of you all, and I know everyone at Boring really appreciates you all and this type of support and this type of interaction with you guys, and hearing human voices ask questions about our protocol, since we're doing all this remote work, really provides a fresh perspective and really makes the day go by a lot quicker and gives us a lot of great feedback. So just thank you to everyone, and thank you to the all the new followers who followed the Boring Twitter account, and just make sure to check out our V2 product sales. So if you didn't know, just want to plug this at the end because it is so important. And this is the only way that we're deriving revenue. We know we're not dumping any tokens or having vampiristic VCs come and dump on the speculators. We are generating revenue from product sales. So please click that link, the store.motherboard.limited, and check out the Boring Protocol VPN and get paid passively, earn passive income for sharing your internet data securely, decentralized, in a decentralized way that is providing a service to the world. People need that internet. So just a big thank you to everybody once again, especially Solape.
Appreciate you, family. All right, everybody. Have a good rest of the week. Get tapped in on the Discords, and we'll see you next time. Take care out there.
All right. Thank you, everyone.